Continuing our video series on stocks for beginners. In this video, we're going to talk about how to invest in the US stock market for only $200. You don't need a lot of money to start, and you don't need to be sophisticated. If a janitor can build an $8 million portfolio reading only newspapers, then you can too. So in this video, we'll talk about how to buy US stocks and what stocks to buy. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Dealmaker channel where I talk about investing in multiple asset classes such as real estate and global stocks. Please hit the like button if you like the topic or you want to support the channel. Let's begin. I've always wanted to open a US stock brokerage account for a long time, but in the early 2000s, it was hard to open an account because you needed a US address or a social security number or a US bank account or all of them, depending on the platform. There was also a high minimum balance to open. At that time when I was looking, I think the minimum balance to open was either $1,000 to $2,000, and that was just too high for me at that time. And there are also high investing costs, not really the trading cost, but the funding cost. It was expensive to do an international wire transfer to send money from the Philippines to my US stock brokerage account. So it was difficult. It was hard to open a US stock brokerage account before. But now there are online platforms that only require a photo ID, a valid photo ID like a passport or a driver's license, and a proof of residence like your utility bill or your credit card bill or bank statement. So with just those two requirements, you can already open a stock brokerage account. And some platforms have low or even no minimum starting balance, so making it really easier and accessible to more people to start investing in the US stock market. And the great thing here is you can open a practice account for no risk learning. So you don't need to put up money to start learning. You can actually open a practice account so that you can try out the platform, try out the stocks, try out your stock investment ideas first before you actually put in real money. And that's what I suggest for most beginners. Now, open a practice account first, even if you're not yet ready to invest real money. Just go ahead and invest time to learn the US stock market first. Now, for beginners, I suggest that you use a platform that minimizes your cost, such as your trading costs and your funding costs. So, trading in the US market, sometimes there are platforms that charge you a fee or a commission per trade that you do. Now, there are platforms that don't charge commissions. Now, there are zero commission platforms, which I will share later. Now, you also want to minimize your funding cost. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest costs is sending money to your US stock brokerage account. It's very expensive to do an international wire transfer. So for some people, if you still wish to use platforms that require you to do a wire transfer, then you cannot invest as often, or you need to invest big amounts of money regularly to make it worth your while. So I personally use eToro. Why eToro? Because there are zero commissions per trade. So you don't actually spend money when you are investing, when you're buying or when you're selling stocks. So when you put in, say, $50 or $100 on Amazon, so all of that $100 will go to Amazon. That's what zero commission means. I also use eToro because there are a lot of funding options. So they allow local bank transfer, which is cheaper than international wire transfer. The cost is huge. With an international wire transfer, you have to pay $35 per transaction, while for local bank transfer, it's as low as 15 pesos. or transfer. So for Filipinos, it makes more sense to just use eToro to save on funding costs. Now, eToro has other options for funding your account, such as PayPal, which I also have. And PayPal also does not charge any cost when you're funding your account using PayPal. And the third thing is you can invest in other assets like crypto. So you actually only need one platform to invest in other assets. And that's what I like about eToro. Of course, eToro has their disadvantages, such as you can only buy the big or popular stocks. Many of the small stocks that are not as popular or don't have as much trading volume are not available in eToro. So right now I haven't seen that as a problem because I'm trying to build up my portfolio, with the big stocks, with the blue chip companies first, so that I have a good foundation. I'm not so much involved in small cap stocks yet. So I want to build up the portfolio first. So for me, this is not a big disadvantage right now. And you only need to start with $200 for a real account. I actually have a link below to open a practice account in eToro. Now, there are other platforms that you can use, such as Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade. Now, with Interactive Brokers, I chose not to use it because they only allow international wire transfer. I don't want to pay too much on funding. So that's $35 per transaction. It doesn't make sense for someone who has a small account. Maybe later on, when I'm already investing huge amounts of money, I will go for interactive brokers because I can buy almost all available stocks in a lot of markets. So not just the US market, but even other markets as well. But right now, I don't need to invest in small stocks yet. And Interactive Brokers also charges a minimum of $10 activity fee. That means you have to generate commissions of at least $10 for Interactive Brokers. So I want to minimize the costs first while I build up my small account. Then later on, when it's big enough, I will transfer to Interactive Brokers. We can also use TD Ameritrade, but I haven't tried to open a TD Ameritrade account yet. But should you decide to use Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade, make sure that you don't day trade because you will need to put up more capital. Day traders need to put up a minimum of $25,000. So you don't want to day trade when you're using Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade. So let's have a quick demo of Toro so that you can see how easy it is to buy US stocks. So let me show you how to buy a stock in eToro. So once you have opened an eToro account, you will be shown the screen. This is my watch list. You will also have your own watch list, so you can add stocks to your own watch list. That depends on you. Also, you will see here which for which portfolio you are working on. So right now you can see here it's virtual. So I am working on my virtual account. That's why it has more than $100,000. So my real account has much less than that. So you can switch between the two accounts over here. So if you're ready to invest money, you just switch over to your real portfolio and then deposit money there. There are three ways to buy a stock. So you can click on a stock on your watch list. So you can say if you want to buy Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, you click on the stock and then you click on trade to bring up the order window. Next option is you can go to trade markets over here and then pick a stock that is shown on the screen. So you can actually choose a stock, on the screen. You can go through, then you can click view all and see which are the market movers. And you can scroll through and pick one that you like. So that's the second way for picking a stock. So when you click on the stock, you you're brought to the stock screen, and again you can click on trade. So the third way to bring up the order screen is to use eToro search. So if you know the name of the company, so for example, NVIDIA, if we're going to buy NVIDIA, You can click on the stock to bring up the stocks page, or you can just click on the trade button here to directly bring up the order page. So you can type either the name of the company, all right, or the ticker symbol. So those are the ways to bring up the order window. So once you are at the order screen, there are a couple of things that you do want to set. First is the price. What price will you buy? By default, it is set at market. So whatever is the market price at the time the order is executed, then that will be the price that you'll have to pay. Now your trade will be executed once the market is open. So right now the market is closed, but you can already set an order. So it's okay. You don't need to wait for the market to open. So if you're okay with buying at market price, you can leave it there, or you can also set the rate. So say you want to buy NVIDIA at $570 per share, then you just set the rate there and you're done. We move into the next one. Next one is the amount. How much are you going to put into NVIDIA? So the minimum is $50. Okay? So if you set an amount less than 50, it will give you this message. Maximum is the amount of money in your portfolio. You can also set the number of units. The cool thing with the US stock market, like I mentioned earlier, is that you can buy fractional shares. So $50 will buy you zero point zero 0.09 shares of NVIDIA. Now, if you like nice round numbers, you can also put in there, say, the number of shares that you'd like to buy. So maybe you want to buy 10 shares there. You just need to have $5,700 ready. That's the estimated amount over here. You can set the stop loss if there's a specific amount. This is really relevant if you are day trading or swing trading. But if you have a long-term investment horizon, then you actually don't need to set the stop loss. So we'll discuss stop loss in a different video, especially for those who want to get into short-term trading. Next is leverage. You want to keep this at the default X1 because you are buying the underlying asset and it is commission free. When you click on the other leverage settings, it becomes a CFD trade, a contract for difference trade. So you're no longer buying the stock, you're already betting on the stock price movement. That is riskier and that actually has a cost. There is a fee whenever you execute a CFD trade, and these are usually short-term trades. So I don't recommend them yet for beginners. I suggest that you just keep it at the default. The last thing that you can set is the take profit. So this is the amount of money that you'd like to make. So by default, eToro sets it at 10 times your original price. So when you already reach this amount, then there will be a sell order that will be automatically be executed and you will already take the profit. You can also just clear the take profit. This is what I would recommend for most beginning investors who have a long time horizon. So you just set no stop loss, X1 leverage, and no take profit. Then you just click set order, and then you wait for the market to open. So that is how you buy a stock in eToro. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please take a moment to hit the like button, make it turn blue. That's for the YouTube algorithm, and that really supports the channel. It helps me grow the channel so that I can make more videos like this. So in this video, we talked about how to buy your stocks, what platforms you can use. I recommended eToro because of the low transaction and funding costs. I also showed you how to buy a stock in eToro, how easy it is to do that in the eToro platform. Up next in this video series, we're going to talk about what stocks should you buy. Now that you know how to buy a stock in the US stock market, there are thousands of there. How do you narrow it down? What stocks should you buy in your portfolio? Now open a practice account today in eToro using the link below. It's your turn. Comment below, will you open a practice account or are you bold enough to open a real account? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you like to get the other videos in this video series, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell to be notified when the next videos in this free video course are ready. Always remember, it's always a great day to make deals, and I hope all of your deals will push through. See you in the next video.